Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome back to the Coito Ergo Sum DLC crossover. I used the hot plate in the kitchen to make some cloud poison, the highest damage variant. Not sure why, because I don't use melee weapons except the spears to blow up speakers, and there's no reason to poison them, but I've been talking about it for weeks, so I was gonna make some before I left, damn it. I went down to the lobby and confirmed that having all 3 hologram code snippets let me turn on holographic security in the lobby. Probably should have done that before the final fight with the ghost people, but oh well. While I was there, I left anything heavy that I know I won't use to kill Elijah in a suitcase by the front door, and we can pick it up later. I gathered a bunch of pre-war outfits I previously ignored and traded them for chips, and bought plenty of ammo, stim packs, and doctor's bags at the vending machine. And speaking of the vending machine, I almost missed that I had a voucher for 1,000 free chips. It was one of the comps for winning big in the casino, and it's very important to redeem it before you leave, at least according to the Fallout Wiki, so I did. We'll talk about that when we get back to the Mojave. And finally, I slept, ate, and drank, so I don't get an unexpected debuff at an inopportune moment. And they're ticking back up while I blab, so let's head down to the vault. The bad news is the vault level isn't just a big box full of cash. It's like a final exam for dealing with color interference, holograms, and the cloud, sometimes all at the same time, and it's huge. The good news is no ghost people, and except for a few basically self-contained areas that seem specifically designed to challenge your ability to work around those obstacles, it's pretty linear. What's that XP for? Oh. Saved all 3 companions. Very nice. Anyway, the vault proper is right up here, but we can't get to it because there are force fields in the way, and we need to find another way around. The rest of the level contains the power systems and other infrastructure that keep the casino running. That bubble is the entrance to the vault, so this is a literal so close but so far scenario. Christine said Elijah won't show himself until we open the vault, and that means we need to get over there. And speakers already. I know this terminal doesn't disable them, but for Courier Jeff, hope springs eternal. And it does let us unlock the way forward and explains the security system. Short version, once we disable the security system, the elevator goes back up to the suite. In-universe, Christine or anybody with a recording of Vera's voice can send it back down, but what that means in gameplay terms is that once you commit, you can't keep running back upstairs for ammo and stim packs. Or water, so we might as well top up the thirst meter. Now, where's that speaker? It's out there somewhere. Right there, straight ahead. That was an easy one. We'll run into the shielded kind you can't blow up later. This is why just unlocking the elevator and coming downstairs isn't enough to make Elijah show himself. We have to deal with any traps and hazards along the way, so it's safe for him when we get done. I'm going to take this nice and slow, not rush forward into areas where it might not be as easy to get back. There's another speaker already. Probably should have gone back the way I came. Oh, this is bad. Oh man, there's a tiny safe zone right here. There's the speaker. Well, that wasn't the right one. Back to the safe zone, quickly. Don't! The collar stopped. Yeah, I meant to do that. Which now I'm being poisoned by the cloud. Had I even finished the sentence when I was saying I was going to take my time and not rush forward, or did that happen while I was saying it? Okay, destroy that one. And that side of the room should be safe. No, it isn't. Well, this corner isn't, but that corner has to be. So if we run past the shielded one, there's a walkway that goes all the way across, so when we get to the far corner, we should be fine. I mean, surely they wouldn't have 2 that are completely redundant. Or maybe they would. If this terminal doesn't disable speakers, we're in trouble. Good. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good, as they say. Oh, and there it is. So they did have 2 that were redundant. That should be enough to take my thirst all the way down to 0. If they're going to give me free water, no reason not to take it. Oh, I remember this room. Speakers, holograms, and doors with force fields. I think there are terminals to deal with most of it, but I don't remember where they are or the best order to do it. And there's a speaker already. Great. There's the speaker, and it's shielded, so we'll go the other way. Oh, come on. Get up. Oh, that was close. Can't jump as far when you're sneaking. Forgive me if I'm not strictly role-playing Courier Jeff's complete ignorance of the layout, but if we assume my mistakes are because he doesn't know where he's going, and the parts I do remember are just him getting lucky, I think it all balances out. Wait for that hologram to get bored. I think I saw a terminal around the corner, and hopefully it turns something off. And apparently he's going to stand right where I want to go. Maybe easier to keep an eye on it in third person. As soon as it turns around, we can sneak over to the terminal. I don't see it. No guts, no glory. Can't deactivate anything, but we can change its patrol route. Currently patrolling water valve control, which is where? It's already alerted. It won't start its new route if it's already investigating. What about this one? Change it back. Or maybe that's for a different hologram. That's just lore. Guarding electric pod access. Yeah, that's a different hologram. Change it too, I guess. And too late again. I really need to get away from this speaker, so stealth is kind of out the window at this point. Can't believe I got away with that. I really thought I was exposed long enough that they turned hostile, but I'll take it. It's off alert. So is that one. Alright, run down the middle and hope for the best. There's really no time for stealth with my collar beeping. Safe zone, good. And they're already back to blue. Guess I wasn't in their line of sight long enough for them to aggro. Nice. Terminal. Yes, shut alarms down, please. And turn off security force field. We could mess with their patrol routes some more, but I think I'm just going to bolt for the exit. Although, I really don't want to have to deal with them on the way out. And they do have emitters that I think are all in places where you can destroy them. In fact, there's one right there, back at the top of the stairs. Courier Jeff might be thinking the force field near the elevator could be a shortcut out after we kill Elijah, but he certainly wouldn't put all his eggs in that basket. You know what? Emitters are tricky to hit, and my melee weapon skill is only 35, so let's use the holo rifle. Much easier. Let's get back to hidden and see if we can find the other ones. Hold on. There's one. A little higher. 2 down. Well, I don't know where it is, but the 2 closest to the force field door are gone, so screw it. We'll just keep going. And that looks very familiar. Yeah, speaker. I'm pretty sure that's the point of no return terminal. In which case, I'm going to find the last emitter before I do that. Not because I know what's coming, but because Courier Jeff doesn't, and if there's something even scarier up ahead, he wouldn't want to retreat into an angry hologram. There's the hologram. That terminal doesn't do anything. See if we can get a better view from on top of this. Right there. Oh, never mind. That's the one we already blew up. Looks like there are stairs on top of that pod, but how do we get up there? Well, there are definitely I-beams and walkways up there. Can you just jump across? Yes. So what's on top of all this? Nothing over there. loot. Crap. And the hologram sees me. Get out of the way. Good enough. I will take the apple. Don't know how my hunger meter's doing. So what's over there? Dead speaker, dead emitter. Nothing. Nothing over there. There was another I-beam about halfway across, yeah. Make sure we don't fall off. All right, there it is. And the hologram sees us again, but in 2 seconds, that won't matter. And that's the last one, so we don't need to worry about holograms on the way out. Now, this terminal has a very scary warning about how you could get accidentally trapped in the vault, and an option to disable security. That means the turrets won't shoot at you, but you can't preemptively blow them up, and more importantly at the moment, the speakers and force fields will go down. You can turn security back on if you want, but either way, the elevator goes back to the suites and there's no way to call it back down from here. Like I said earlier, only Christine or someone with a recording of Vera's voice can send it back down. But that's what we gotta do, so that's what we'll do. And our collar stops beeping, and the force fields are gone. There's a little maze of industrial pods you can use for cover if you're in a firefight, but if it comes to that, something has gone horribly wrong. There's also a path back to the elevator, which is around here. And I need to know the layout because if that terminal gives Courier Jeff the option to turn security back on, he has every reason to believe Elijah can too. Yes, this is the way we came in. And that first force field we saw is gone. And right down here is the vault itself. There's a bottomless pit full of cloud over here, and an extracted holotape that was originally on the terminal in the vault until Sinclair changed his mind about what he wanted to say to Vera and replaced it. There's a pipe in the cloud you can walk on that I remember from the Skills Dash series because there's a skill book in that duffel bag, but I'm not killing myself to get it this time. And just to make sure I don't get lost under fire, there are 3 ways off the vault platform. Looking out the vault door, left stairs go back to the hologram room, which no longer has holograms. Center stairs go into the pod maze, and the right stairs go to the elevator. And there's actually a center right set that also goes into the pod maze. Okay, let's check out the vault. Only the trustworthy may enter my vault, Frederick Sinclair. Well, I certainly am. So unlock it. And there we go. The vault door closes automatically behind you, and you can't get out until you use the terminal. The one on the desk. There are 2 other terminals, one for the turrets and one for the security system. Now, despite the whole theme of this DLC being about obsession and greed and the legend of the Sierra Madre twisting people's minds and luring them to their doom, there are a few ways to escape with literally all of the treasure, at least 2 of which don't involve any exploits or cheats. But I genuinely have not been blowing smoke this whole time about how Courier Jeff doesn't care about the treasure and just wants to go home to Kekata. He will, of course, take any medical supplies and ammo that happen to be laying around, and purified water. And the game might not have given you a big pre-boss fight crate in Campanas del Sol, but that's a lot of stim packs. Almost as if there was trouble brewing. I'm actually not going to take the ammo because it has weight in hardcore mode and I have plenty on me. Anyway, the real treasure is over here. 37 gold bars worth over 10,000 caps each. Each one also weighs 35 pounds, which I think is still the highest value to weight ratio of any item in the game. But even with a high strength build, buff out, and all of the carry capacity perks, there's no way to carry even half of it without being over encumbered. Which does matter to Courier Jeff, but probably not for the reason you think. Being a bit of a math nerd like me, you could imagine him weighing options, no pun intended, dropping everything except the unique items that you can only get in the DLC, and figuring out the maximum number of gold bars he could carry without being over encumbered, and then taking that many. Or at least that one really tempting one by itself on the desk. I will take that one. In fact, I'm going to take them all. But not because I have any intention of keeping them. It's because when you drop multiple items from your inventory, the game makes it a stack. So if you drop 5,000 rounds of ammo, it doesn't try to render them all and crash the game engine. And I'm going to drop the stack right here by the door. Alright, that's good enough. Took a couple tries because it doesn't have grab physics, which is how the game prevents you from using the Z key trick to lug it out of here. So, let's use the terminal. The first entry is missing if you click it. It's the extracted holotape we found on the platform right outside. The second entry explains what happened in the days before the gala event, and we can't read it until we disable security on the terminal over by the door. Short version, Sinclair discovered Dean and Vera's plan and sabotaged the vault, so instead of being a private bomb shelter, it would trap them forever when they broke in. But Vera decided she couldn't go through with it and spontaneously confessed to him, and without her voice, there was no way for Dean to get in, and security was already disabled. I just turned it back on. Sorry. So Sinclair tried to disarm the trap, but he couldn't. He extracted the nasty note he left for her and replaced it with a much nicer one, saying he forgave her and warning her not to access the entry marked personal accounts because he knew Dean would read it, so that's the trigger for the trap. Then he made another attempt to disarm it, which also failed because that's his skeleton and duffel bag we saw in the pipes. All of which kind of makes sense, but it comes apart a little bit if you start pulling at the threads. If Dean and Vera disappear the night of the gala event, people assume they ran off to a secret lover's nest. But after a few days, Dean's agent would start thinking foul play, the paparazzi would be going insane, and once the police figure out there are two rich celebrities trapped in the vault, they'd have the engineers who designed the place on site in a heartbeat, and they'd either find a way to restart the elevator, or worst case, they'd drill a new shaft. So either Sinclair's revenge scheme was to simply inconvenience the conspirators for a few days and then spend the rest of his life in jail for kidnapping and attempted murder, or he had an irrational confidence in the accuracy of his prediction about when the war would start. Even Robert House wasn't arrogant enough to pin it down to a 3-day window. And speaking of arrogant, once we close this terminal, Elijah's going to start a little e-meeting.
You're in the vault, finally, after all this time. The Sierra Madre. Mine. Don't move. Don't go into the vault, and don't touch anything else. There may be more traps down there. Another security system.
Now, there are several ways to get a premature game over in the vault. If you access the personal accounts entry on the terminal, the trap is indeed sprung, and with no police and engineers on the surface to help, there's nothing Christine can do, so you're trapped forever. Another is to pick the wrong dialogue choices with Elijah, but we're not going to do that either. Still hiding behind images and screens, I see.
Hiding? Hardly. Trapped. You think you were the first one to unlock the casino door? No, I did it. With other hands, other bodies. After that, the casino wouldn't let go. Once I was locked in, no way out. Until your Pip-Boy signal came to life in the villa. Then things changed. And here you are.
Per our conversation with Christine last week, not to mention the quest objective, our goal is to get him face-to-face by persuasion, coercion, or any means necessary. Now that I'm here, are you coming down?
No. I'm not going to take the chance while I'm so close. Not this close. No. Not again. I can wait. Afford to be careful. You're locked down there. This is the only entrance, and I have free reign of the Sierra Madre. I have time. More than you. Besides, there might be more traps. I'll send more scouts in. Yes, others. You're resourceful. Don't want to leave anything more to chance.
From day one, I've told anybody who would listen, I'm not interested in the vault. I only want to leave.
Then all you need to do is wait. Be patient. You may be down there for a while, just as I was, trapped inside the casino. Consider this punishment for following the Sierra Madre's signal in the first place. So eager to rush ahead. Now, enjoy your reward.
Are you completely out of your mind? That made no sense. You followed the signal too. You want what's down here. I want out. Let's deal.
That signal, that siren's call, lured me in, yes. And being trapped in the Sierra Madre, perhaps forever, that has made me more cautious. I have my freedom, access to the bottom of the casino, and you under my control. I can wait.
Technically, so can I. I have a vending machine right here. You know what I don't have? 3 people who want me dead lurking around dangerously close to my current location.
You seek to goad me. Impatience and greed led you here, not me. It doesn't control me as it does you. I won't fall prey to another trap, either Sierra Madre or yours. There is no trust between us, and there will be no trades either.
Look, I don't know why you insist on saying greed controls me. As deadly sins go, I'm more of a lust guy, a little bit of pride. But I agree it doesn't apply to you either. Greed implies you want more than you deserve. You have clearly earned this.
I have earned it. Fought for it. Paid for it in blood. Mine. Others. Countless times. I'm coming down. I'll meet you face to face at the vault entrance. No tricks. If you prove troublesome, well, there's always the caller.
Now, in a minute, things are going to start happening very quickly, and these characters have a tendency to talk over each other's lines. You may have noticed that in previous episodes, but if you don't hear them say it, if you got a good ending with Christine, which I did, she'll hack some of the turrets, so only half of them attack you. And if you got a good ending with Dean, which I did, he'll hack the alarms, so there aren't as many bomb collar explodey zones. And here comes Elijah.
Did you really think you could steal from me? The Sierra Madre
shut those turrets down
is
from up
mine.
Here. Come on. Got it.
Don't
2 of
have
them
time
down.
for this.
Can't shut down the others. He's cut off access. Damn it.
Even if you're cooperative, unarmed, out in the open, and didn't take anything, he still accuses you of stealing and turns hostile.
Right. Put him down. Bury him. Whatever it takes.
Dude, call me profligate, call me dissolute, guilty as charged, but I'm nothing if not honest, and I give you my solemn word that I don't intend to steal anything from you. And now he tries to kill us with the turrets. And at this range, the hollow rifle's probably better.
Is this thing on?
Pre-war
You
junk.
hear me down there?
I'll put you down
Trying to
myself.
help you out here.
Time is
Disable the
against
speakers,
it.
Play a little
It
music.
always was.
And that's more like it. Got a beat you can swing to. And they won't set off your collar anymore. Just hit that guy where it hurts.
I said I wouldn't steal from him. Didn't say anything about not killing him. Oh, and Dean? Have fun getting the treasure out of a bottomless pit full of cloud, you misogynistic creep. Bet you didn't see that coming. And that's not a pointless gesture. Elijah didn't have a chance to trigger Sinclair's trap, and Dean actually mentioned splicing together a fake password if Christine never recovered her voice, which he could easily do now that we unlocked the sound archive, just like Elijah must have done, because it's for damn sure she didn't say the passphrase for him. And speaking of Elijah, I had a little trouble deciding what to kill him with. I've been carrying the automatic rifle around since episode 1, but I don't meet the strength requirement, and it's a little too Rambo for me. In the end, killing him with the gun he gave me was just too much poetic justice to pass up, which is why I was piling skill points into energy weapons the last 3 levels. Anyway, he had the same kind of dead man switch as our partners that would detonate everybody's collar if he died, which is why it's beeping now. But he also gave us some technobabble a couple episodes ago that explained the casino is different from the villa, and we could kill each other and be okay if we got to another floor quickly after they died. But it's tight, and you really don't have time to make any wrong turns. What I'm not sure about is why the vault explodes. I mean, it's obviously because explosions are cool and it makes your escape more dramatic, but as for a canonical, in-universe explanation, not aware of one. Best guess? The collar detonation frequency interfered with something explosions. Grab the stuff I stashed in here before I forget. There's the armed version of the Vera hologram I didn't enable until after the last wave of ghost people was dead. And now we're free to poke around the casino and the villa to find any loot or secrets we missed before we return to the Mojave. Thanks to the comments for pointing out I missed the snow globe when I was in Campanas del Sol. It's in the same room as one of Dean's stashes, the storeroom with all the desks stacked up, which I think we saw in episode 6. And if we take that, it should be automatically cashed in for chips. Yes, which is good because I can't turn them into Jane anymore. Level up. I'm not sure if ghost people respawn infinitely or if those were left over because I didn't kill anybody on the way back to the fountain after triggering the gala event, but anyway, I definitely want explosives up a bit so mines and grenades are better. Since I finally started investing in energy weapons, I want to get that to 100 eventually. And continue my slow march toward Survival 100 as well. That'll work. Elijah was not my true nemesis. I will discover the secrets of this room. And I will waste a stupid amount of stim packs doing it. Oh, 300 chips. Totally worth it. Locked door. That's always a good sign. Metal armor? That's, outside items were supposedly banned from the casino. There was the whole thing about the security system and all that, and that's why we were, didn't have our stuff. Guess there was some cosplay going on at the gala event. I should have mentioned this as soon as we got back to the fountain, but the collar is removed when you escape the vault and activate the elevator. That's why, even though the speakers are still active, we don't hear any beeping. And let's have one last listen to the radio.
Wait a moment. Before you go, we hope you've enjoyed your stay. Farewells can be a time of sadness. Letting go, difficult. As a guest of the Sierra Madre, you know that truth more than anyone. Frederick Sinclair believed one's life could be made anew every day, that fortunes were more than the wealth in your hands. Love, life, family, those to care for, and those who will care for you. To those who know these joys, the Sierra Madre holds little they don't already have. Out in the world, beyond these walls, that is your chance to begin again. I hope you'll return in happier times. Until then, the Sierra Madre and I will hold you in our hearts.
Yeah, I should probably be getting back to Kekata, huh? I mean, I've been gone for days already, so spending an hour or two picking up souvenirs doesn't mean I'm not anxious to get back. But Courier Jeff certainly doesn't expect to ever come back, and as we'll see in a minute, the game warns you when you use the exit that you literally can't. There are mods that let you come back, but that's a whole other can of worms. Anyway, we leave by the gate over here, and do not forget to grab everything from my stash. This is why I used that particular container, and why I took the long haul perk. Ordinarily, I just make multiple trips, but we can't come back, and I sold most of the generic loot, but there are a lot of items you can only get here, like the Sierra Madre armor and the automatic rifle that I really want to take back. But we're ready to go.
The survivors of the Sierra Madre thought about gathering at the fountain and waiting for the courier. In the end, the caller's silence made them uneasy, and the fear of turning on each other made them hesitate and leave the goodbyes unspoken. The radio message at the fountain was enough for them, and there was no need to add another farewell on top of all they had suffered.
Freed of both Dog and the one who held Dog's leash, the other voice resumed control. First the mind, then finally the mutant shell. His first act was to tend to the scars on the body with careful hands, slowly healing all the scars, except the ragged name torn on his chest. He briefly thought of remaining at the Sierra Madre, But it was a monument built by humans, representing something he no longer needed. He began walking west, in search of others like him. As he did, he spoke of the courier who had set him free and allowed his life to begin again.
Dean Domino, entertainer, singer, thief, explored the Sierra Madre not long after he was rescued by the courier. Once he left the theater, the Sierra Madre recognized him as a guest, and many doors opened to him. He had to admit it had been built to last. During his search, he came across the final records of Vera and Sinclair, and realized what happened the night the bombs fell. He felt strangely sad for a moment, and he had no idea why. Shrugging it off, his mind turned instead to where the courier had come from. Vegas still survived, out there in the Mojave. Its sights, sounds, and casinos, ripe for the taking. So, giving the Sierra Madre one last nod and a wink, he set off beyond the cloud to begin again.
Christine, her mission complete, found new purpose as the Sierra Madre's warden. She watched over it silently, by choice. Over time, the ghost people came to see her as one of the holograms. They would watch, silently, as she walked among them. At times, Christine thought of the courier, who had kept Elijah's hand from her throat. The courier reminded her of the other courier she had met in the Big Empty, and wondered if the two had found each other at last. She did not think of them again until she heard the legends of the Divide. The Divide, where the two messengers, the two couriers, fought beneath an ancient flag, at the edge of the world.
You've heard of the Sierra Madre Casino.
We all have. The legend, the curses.
Some foolishness about it lying in the middle of a city of dead.
A city of ghosts. Beneath a blood-red cloud.
A bright, shining monument, reaching out, luring treasure hunters to their doom. An illusion.
A promise that you can change your fortunes. Begin again.
Finding it, though. That's not the hard part. It's letting go.
It's letting go.
It's letting go.
It's letting go. It's letting go.
And I'm not sure I ever got the good ending for all three companions in one run, so I never saw that particular combination of ending slides before. I also saw that I got credit for the challenge to hear all the foreshadowing for the other DLC, so apparently the bug I read about on the Fallout Wiki was patched at some point. And now we can loot the rest of the bunker. The safe outside the workshop respawns some Sierra Madre chips every few days, which makes the vending machine a reliable source of supplies. Most importantly, to me, 308 ammo for the Enfield. Might as well pick up that skill book now that we're back. I mentioned the vouchers in the intro. Oh, the footlocker is unlocked now. It has a set of Father Elijah's robes in case you didn't take them from his corpse. Anyway, the Fallout Wiki says you can't redeem the first voucher you get as a comp in the casino on this vending machine, so you have to do it while you're there. If you don't, you won't be able to redeem any of the vouchers here because the code won't be unlocked on this machine. I have no idea if that's true, but I wasn't taking the risk. At the top of these stairs, we should start getting anything that was confiscated when we got abducted back. Yep. And even though I was traveling pretty light, that's going to go on a while. And here's why I took the long haul perk. Some people think it's a waste, but to me it's just a quality of life thing, so I don't have to make multiple trips when I have a ton of loot, especially for the DLC when you get a lot of unique items that aren't available in the base game. Now, where's Kekata? Hey, baby. Sorry I'm late. Are you mad? You're mad, aren't you? Turns out the casino wasn't new. It was a 200-year-old death trap. Got kidnapped by this crazy ex-Brotherhood guy. Met Dean Domino, believe it or not. The Dean Domino. He's a ghoul now. Kind of a jerk, to be honest.
Want to dance?
Ooh. For a minute there, I thought you were mad. Yeah, let's. Well, if she wants to go to bed, it would seem she's not a bit upset. We'll just turn off the light. Close the door. And we'll be back after a word from our sponsor. Been a while since we had the well-rested bonus. Sleeping in our own bed for a change is nice. Now, let's give Kekata her souvenir. Looks like she's in here. Oh, she's in the shower. Sorry. I'll go sort loot and show you what I got later. You'll never guess what I picked up at the Sierra Madre.
For me?
Yep. His and hers automatic rifles with upgraded internals. I know it's not very practical, but I thought they were neat and I knew you'd like it. Mine's in the gun cabinet. Well, I'm going to head over to Lollipops, check on business, and get the next issue of the magazine started. Back before lunch. I used the war dramatic pattern we found to make a replica of Vera's dress for Fiona. It would have been wasted on her when she first started working here, but I wanted to give her something nice since she cleaned up her act. Which, if you just joined the series for the DLC crossover and didn't see the walkthrough of Coito Ergo Sum base mod, may have involved the assassination of multiple world leaders.
You need a boyfriend, honey?
Hello. But if that's what it takes to help an employee break a downward spiral of addiction and self-destructive behavior, that's just the kind of boss I am. Anyway, let's go downstairs and set the magazine layout. Sadly, I already published a Brotherhood of Steel issue, and there aren't enough models to publish two. I'm planning an update to the mod, and one of the side benefits of this walkthrough is that I can identify things I might want to add or change, and one of those things is making Courier 6 eligible for a Brotherhood theme issue if you completed Eyesight for the Blind and McNamara made you a Paladin. Along with Christine, that would be enough for 2 if your Courier is female and you pose for the magazine yourself. But since you can only have all men or all women in a single issue, that still wouldn't help Courier Jeff. But she's also eligible for a Beautiful Bookworms theme issue, so that's what I did. Larry doesn't have any unique dialogue for her, just the usual commentary on her suitability for each section of the magazine, which, again, if you didn't see the Coito Ergo Sum walkthrough, there's this whole complex publishing sim minigame that I'm not going into here. I'll put a link to the episode where I explain how it works in the description. So, let's take a look at Christine's magazine cover. I keep the Luma screens in my office turned off so I don't have to blur them. Damn it! I did a mod where I added black bars over any naughty bits in the artwork so I wouldn't have to edit the videos, but I forgot to do that for Christine. Now I'm going to have to do the digital blur thing in the video. In fact, I'm going to quit and do that for Vera right now before we publish her issue. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, Larry does have unique dialogue for Vera. His most interesting line is if you use her as the opener.
Vera was barely old enough to vote when she first appeared in Lollipops magazine, and she was already stunning. Little wonder that Frederick became so infatuated when she blossomed into a full-blown goddess. She's perfect.
If you use her as the closer, he says she's not well suited because the photography is uninspired, which makes sense because the footage was shot by the automated surveillance system. But I'm going to go back and revise the layout to use her as the cover girl. There are plenty of models who work well for the other two sections, but a very limited number of elite cover girls, and Vera is obviously one of them. Unfortunately, the only theme bonus she's eligible for can't currently be completed. No spoilers, but it's related to the update I'm working on. Of course, Courier Jeff doesn't know that, so he's going to make a Lollipops Entertainers theme issue with Angie as the opener, Fiona as the closer, and Vera on the cover. They'll all get the top section bonus, but there isn't actually a Lollipops theme bonus category because it'd be too easy.
Larry Slater speaking.
What do you think of this layout?
It doesn't appear to have a theme that would resonate with readers, but you know your market better than I do.
Courier Jeff still thinks it's a good theme, damn it. What do you think of Vera on the cover?
Miss Key's final appearance on the cover of Lollipops magazine will be even more sensational than her first. She's perfect.
Okay, thanks.
My pleasure.
Goodbye.
Stop. This is an important call. Yes, goodbye.
Hadn't heard that one before. I mean, I must have heard it. I voiced it, but it wasn't grayed out, which means it never came up in the Courier Jeff playthrough, so it's been at least 5 years. Anyway, let's commit the layout, notify the distributor, and go check it out on the Luma screen. I went ahead and added a black bar to Christine's cover too, so I wouldn't have to blur the video when I came in here to change the picture. And there's Vera. Little behind-the-scenes trivia. The in-universe reason she's just on a black background is that the compositron recreated her image from holographic data. But the meta reason is that I was just too lazy to recreate a version of the suite as it would have appeared when she was recorded, all shiny and new. Alright, that's it for the Dead Money portion of the DLC crossover. I'm going to call it a day, and there will be a brief hiatus before I tackle the next DLC. I can do a video per week in short bursts like this or the Skills Dash series, but it's not long-term sustainable with my current schedule. And apparently I fast-traveled and left the train in Pahrump. Go back upstairs and call it to this station. Anyway, the DLC crossover will be back in a few weeks. In the meantime, I want to put together a video about my test course for sneaking and detection, and the results from that, which are pretty interesting. At any rate, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.